Hello guys, what is up? This is Shatner's Prodigy coming at you today with another episode of Fabled Quasar versus the world. And before I get into any of the duels here, even this first duel here against Lindy Top, I want to tell you guys about something that happened recently that I'm pretty excited about. I did pass my driver's test. I am now an official licensed driver in the state of Maryland. But I gotta say, as with most government-taken pictures that you're aware of, the picture makes it look more like a mugshot than a candid photo of what I may look like. Now I'm going to show you something and tell me if you think you can see this, if you think you would see this on your typical everyday news show. Now if you're telling me you don't see that coming up on your everyday local news show, maybe CNN, under the heading like, man kills 40 children, maybe 50, then I'm going to tell you you're lying. Now there I made a slight misplay, nothing game breaking, I didn't rip the game state, but I forgot to mill off the low ball, I got a little too excited, but whatever. Nothing really serious happened. There he's trying to resolve Dinotherium, and I'm just like, you can't, man, I don't have any level 4s in my graveyard, and you don't have a graveyard. So that's a slight hindrance. I draw into the soul chart, so I know I'm good to draw as many cards as I want. I can set up that 3-draw formula Synchron, and I lose 5,000 life points, but for double Quasar, I'd gladly pay twice that. But yeah, I pass it back to him, and he's thinking. He activates Summoner's Art, so I think pay 100 time, right? Because really, Cliffworts are just too helmet, too good for this meta. But he searches out Dragonhorn Hunter, so I know he's playing normal Pendulum, a deck that's really interesting. And I actually got 2-0'd by it at locals, because the guy summoned Slifer the Sky Dragon. So I negate his Sea Dragons of Draconia, he can't set up a scale, so he's forced to scoop, and he passes to me, because double Quasar is just 3 much, 5 him. So we get into our second duel here, we're facing off against Jack 927. I start off by summoning Dinotherium in defense mode, trying to get a draw-off draw muscle, but I really can't do it, so I'm stuck with a 600 defense monster. He sets 5 and passes. Cool story, man. He uses Reckless Greed, so he'll be locked out of drawing for the next 2 turns. He activated Just Desserts, I take 1,500, but it's a small price to pay to nuke his back row. He just banishes it, so I can't soul charge it back later. And I pass it back to him. He can't draw, so he's frozen in place for a few turns. Looks like he's playing some sort of chain burn / just straight up burn variant. He scapegoats. He sharks me here a bit, but I'm cool with it because it's just me not being able to attack over 1 token. So here I can't really do much, but I could have gone for a Reagan there. I couldn't actually go for a Reagan there, I'm lying to you. I thought I could go for a Reagan because I thought Lurie was a beast-type monster for a second, but I can't. So I just go for Armades because I'm kind of a little bit spooked that he may have a, he may have a magical cylinder or he may have a dimension wall. But he has Wabaku, so I should have, no, I can't attack over his token. And I'm kind of frozen in place for this turn, but I go for a Reagan, draw 2 cards, and looks like I will be able to make some form of a play. I summon out the Chawa, and I'm able to go for another Reagan, hoping to draw what I need so I can make that sweet, sweet Quasar. And I do. I have the double summon so I can make that Formula Synchron, get 2 draws, and then just ignore everything else he has for the rest of the duel. Because I can just sit on Quasar. I don't need to take 2,000 in the end phase because I did normal summon out the Tuningware. And he's really not doing anything. He can't stall forever. He has Battle Fader, but I negate it. He has to take 1,200 because Nazuchi declares the attack. And then Battle Fader activates, to which Quasar activates, and you can't activate Fader on the activation of Quasar. You need to activate it when the Nazuchi attacks. So it essentially misses timing in a way. So he's able to activate it on the Quasar attack, and I'm forced to skip my battle phase, but he can't stall forever. Trish is coming after him. Take out the Metaion, I don't know. But yeah, I put it in defense mode just in case there's a Mirror Force. He doesn't have Mirror Force. He sets a card. I'm just going to try and go as ham as possible to force out a something, I don't know. Try and make another Quasar, I guess, go for style. I try and go for Michael the Arclight Sworn there to take out his back row, but I don't have Michael. So I put in attack mode and go ham. Now I'm going to bait him a little bit here. I attack with Reagan without swinging for game, because if he has, you know, the magic cylinder, the dimension wall, he would use it on my highest attack monster, and that would be Trishula. So he's obviously not going to use that on the Reagan. So he does use the dimension wall there, and I take 1200, but he can't stall forever, and he just scoops it up to my Nezuchi attack. And yeah, he had Lava Golem, that wasn't doing any good, and he would have drawn into the Swift Scarecrow, but he couldn't deck me out, so that's a win for me. So I'm 2 wins, 0 losses, going to our third duel here against Big Phil 12. He quits the duel, or I quit the duel, someone quits the duel, not counting that one way or the other. Actually, story behind that, I went into matches, and I quit out of the duel because I'm not looking to play a match. I'm not looking for hot singles. I'm not going on Match.com. I'm in the singles arena. So here we're facing all baddies. Repping that Bandit Keith avatar. So I discard the Nezuchi, not the Nezuchi. I discard the Crust and special summon out the Grimro, so I can bring out that Dinotherium without him having a valid target to bring out with it. I asked him if he's using the effect. Turns out I did have a valid target. My bad. I misspoke. And here I'm thinking here, and I activate Where Art Thou? Minor cheat, but it really is a minor cheat. He's saying it's a silly first turn. I agree, man. This turn is very silly. So I go for Reagan, get that 3 draws, putting that Reagan as Chain Link 2, and the Hyper Librarian as Chain Link 1. So he's a bit new to the game. He says he's getting back in after a couple years away. So I talk him through Sagok, and he seems to understand it, and then he looks up the rolling, which always do if you're confused. Don't be ashamed to do it. Just say, hold on, let me look up the rolling. I need to verify that you're not trying to cheat me. Because as your Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel said in a recent video, never trust your opponent. That guy is trying to see you lose. He wants to win at any cost. And just assume he's a scumbag who will cheat you if you look the wrong way. There I pull up a picture, very unprofessional, but it's what I do. I am not a professional. I don't get paid a cent for this. And he's like, wait, I'm wrong. Ha! Your monster effects activate after. That's right, Reagan doesn't draw you 2. I'm like, dude, you're right, but it resolves backwards, man. Chains resolve backwards. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, man. And I get it. It's a tough concept to grasp, but you just gotta think of it as a ladder. You climb the ladder going up, that's you building your chain, and you go backwards to get back down the ladder. And you can't interrupt your downward slope, so you can't activate cards within chains, and there's a lot of little rolls that kind of break up the metaphor, but overall it's a good metaphor to keep in mind if you're ever wondering how a chain would build or resolve. So he makes King of the Feral Imps. He's playing some alien type deck, and he passes back to me. I elect not to negate the King of the Feral Imps because he could have a Dark Hole sitting down there, he could have a Regeki sitting down there. I don't want to waste my Quasar on something meaningless. He activates Call of the Haunted. Nope, he activates, Snake Whistle, to which I'm going to negate it because I don't want him getting any free pluses, at which point he activates Snatch Steal and steals my Quasar. I've already used my negate. I can't really do anything. His Cosmic Fortress Golgar is going to come out and just wreck my face, so I'm forced to scoop it up. But sorry for that spoiler. Here he's going to go into the battle phase and attempt to attack over Hyper Librarian. And here he misclicks, and he said, whoops, I misclicked, and he meant to attack, and he's like, I won't. And he's like, actually, I will. And he doesn't cheat me here. He does realistically attack with the 2 monsters who I would expect to attack. And then he'll just pass right back to me. Oh, never mind. I don't get another turn. I just pass because Golgar's going to wreck me up. And I don't have a realistic way to deal with Quasar. He'd just negate my Reagan's activation, negate my Formula's activation, negate something that would mess up my combo utterly. And we're moving into the last duel here against Aussie XD. And I think this is only 4 duels, and the reason why I want to keep it at 4 duels is because these videos are getting a bit long. They're getting kind of back up into the 15-minute range that I was dealing with whenever I first started doing this, way back when. Way back in like 2014, and I don't want to regress back to that person. That person was horrible. That person didn't know how to make a video. He didn't know how to not stutter. I still don't know how to not stutter. I need some pro tips there. But I feel like I've grown as a commentator, and to keep that in line, I want to stick to my original premise of keeping these videos down below 15 minutes. They were kind of creeping up there. He makes Herald of the Arclight, which is wrecking my face because I can't really resolve any effects because they all need to be discarded to the graveyard. And my Foolish Burial's dead. I could desynchro it and try and go off there, but I don't really have a viable play. If I ran Exciton, that would be sweet, but he makes Nat Beast, and Nat Beast is good game. So, good game there, Aussie XD. I hope you enjoyed these duels and catching up a little on my life. And yeah, this is Shatner's Prodigy, signing out.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry.